Well, hey there, gang. Jim Jacobus here. Hope this finds you well the day after our national election. I don't know what the results were because I'm actually recording this the day before, but I hope everybody is doing well out there. This is going to be the last of our excerpts from the webinar that we did, Tough Talk for Tough Times. And today we're going to be talking about I Got Your Back no matter what. I think you'll find this particular episode very interesting as we dive into understanding that as a couple that we both have strengths, we both have challenges, and the best way to get through this and really enjoy life is to make sure that we understand that and that no matter what happens, I got Christie's back and she's got mine. So we trust that you enjoy this episode. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care.
Strategy is I got your back no matter what. And I kind of was playing around. Why is this so hard to go from this? All right. Remember that day? Okay. To this. Now, we're all in between those two, but that's our goal. All right. I want to be that couple at the bottom. It's not going to look like that because I'm so much older than Christy is, but at some point in time, I do want to look like that couple. I want to look like Christy's grandparents did. Late in their years and everything, they were still so much in love. So why is this so hard? Well, first thing is we're male and female, which creates conflict in the first place. Second thing is the address we grew up at. Matt Barnhill's a good friend of ours, and he has a great way of saying a lot of the challenges we have in marriage have to do with the address we grew up at. The things that we learned from our mom and dad, the things we didn't learn from our moms and dads. Were they good role models? I can tell you this, no matter how great your mom and dad were, none of them had it all wired 100%. And we learned from them things that weren't good, weren't accurate. So the address we grew up at is we have to evaluate. Take the best from your mom and dad. Take those into your relationship, but be willing to get rid of the things that don't work from the address we grew up at. Love languages. If you've done any studies there's 5 different love languages. We all speak different languages. I'm trying to learn how to speak Christy's love language. She tries to speak mine. So that creates conflict. Relational needs is another entire set of assessments we do. But tonight, we're going to kind of have to focus in on personality styles. All right, so I'm going to go through 4 lists of strengths and challenges that have to do with 2 different personality styles. And we're going to let you guess which one is which. All right, one of them represents Jim, and one of them represents Christy. So when you figure out which one is which, type it into the comment section. We'll see if you get it right. All right. By the way, if you don't get this right, you're not paying attention because it's not that hard. So we're going to start off with what we call the high D driver. And we're going to look at the challenges that come with that personality style. Now, this is either Jim or it's Christy. Okay. We'll let you decide which one you think it is. So sensitive, inconsiderate, hostile, tough, and opinionated. All right. So that's the first list. Here's the high S, amiable. Challenges are conforming, blasé, unsure, spectator, stubborn, dependent, indecisive, and unbothered. Now, how many of you would guess that the D is Jim? All right. You'd be right. How many of you would guess that the S is Christy? Hey,
That's me.
that would be her. And so here's the thing. We both have things about our personality, the way we were wired, the way God made us, that aren't exactly what I would call warm, fuzzy things. All right. You might ask, well, Christy doesn't seem like a stubborn person. She can be very stubborn when it comes to change, all right? But you do know this, if you're around Christy, the indecisive part is really, we struggle with that a little bit. No, not at all. And Jim's not opinionated, and he's never hostile at all. Right, babe?
I think it's the competitive nature.
Yeah, well, guilty as charged. So we both have things about us that aren't exactly what I would call wonderful things, but here's the cool thing. We both have things about us that are amazing. Here's Christy's list of strengths. calm, supportive, respectful, diplomatic, willing, practical, dependable, and she is the peacemaker. If ever there's been a peacemaker, it's her. And man alive, do I need that in my life, because I am not a conflict avoider. I am a conflict embracer. And Christie's always bringing peace to the neighborhood and peace to the situation. And by being married to her for 33 years, I've learned a lot of that myself. Now, I have a list of strengths as well. I did have down here attractive, charming, charismatic, but Christie made me erase those. I am determined. I'm independent, productive, strong-willed. If you know me at all, you know I'm optimistic. I'm a visionary. I'm very decisive. And I would say courageous when it comes to doing
yeah.
things. Although, go ahead.
I mean, one of the things too that you can see that there's differences, but because of our team, I'm really blessed that Jim has so many of those characteristics that I don't have. But it could be a source of, conflict, as he said.
Vicki says, "Do you want me to chime in on those?" No, you can leave it alone. Unless you want to chime in on the strengths, you're welcome to do that. So here's why we put that in there. This is a really cool thing that I just shared with you. All right. Our differences are cool because we both have challenges. We both have strengths. We accept each other as equals. All right. I don't look at my strengths and go, well, I'm obviously a much better person than Christie is. I've learned that her strengths are things that I don't do well. And I've learned so many things from her. And Christie's learned a lot of things from me. I think she'd tell you the very same thing. So we've gotten past this idea of thinking Jim's way is the best way. All right. I obviously have all the answers. No, I don't. All right. As opinionated as I may be, I have come to the level of self-awareness that says I do not have all the answers. My wife has answers and insights to things I don't have a clue about. And I think Christie would tell you that I have insights and answers to things that she doesn't have a clue about. So because we both have strengths and challenges, we look at each other as equals. And then we work to minimize the challenges. All right, together. Team Jacobus tries to minimize the challenges, not that Jim has, and not that Christie has, but that Team Jacobus has. Because if I have a challenge or Christie has a challenge, it becomes a Team Jacobus challenge. And we want to be the best version of Team Jacobus we can. It also means that we get the opportunity to maximize our strengths. And we've really grown in this area. I would tell you, unfortunately, I've been incredibly guilty probably the first half of our marriage of thinking that I was the only one that had the right answer. And then there came a time where I began to realize that that was false, that wasn't true, that Christie had strengths and insights that I did not have. And babe, I think I've said this before. We bought the place down in Rockport and we renovated it together. And I think it's the very first time that I was to opinion about things. And Christie's always been very respectful of my opinion. And that project came out amazing. And I remember looking back on that and going, I think it's the very first time we ever really collaborated at a high level together. And it was fun. And so since then, we've done all kinds of those collaborations. But here we are sitting in an RV in Maine, 3,000 miles of driving away from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, enjoying a bucket list time of our lives. And the level of cooperation between the two of us and the experiences that Team Jacobus is having, that's why we want to encourage you guys. You can have that. You can have more than we have. You can start a whole lot earlier than we did, particularly for some of you who are on the webinar that that are only 10 or 15 years into your marriage. But we can tell you that this is something you can have and you can have more. And that's why we do what we do, because we want to encourage you that God's got that plan for you. And because of all of these things, we have each other's back. There is nothing I would not do for that woman. I am confident there's nothing she would not do for me. We have been through the wars together. We respect each other. We love each other. And we both know that we're better off together, back to back, looking out for each other than either one of us would ever be by ourselves. So we want you to kind of embrace this whole idea that, yeah, you're different. And God made you different in so many different ways. but learning to appreciate and respect those differences is what will make your team the kind of team that can experience much more than you dreamed of when you said I do.
Yeah. And y'all, kind of going back to what we said to start this whole thing, 2020 has been a difficult year. We understand that. But a lot of times I've talked to couples and they've said, but this has been a great opportunity for us. This has been an opportunity for us to really prioritize what matters. It's given us an opportunity to think things differently and be different. And I think if we look at it that way, I don't want y'all to think we have this all figured out and everything's always rosy, because it's not. But I think one of the things that we've committed to is we're going to do the very best we can to make this life, this very short life that we have here on earth, as good as it possibly can be when it's in our control. There are so many factors outside of our control. In 2020, if it's shown us anything, that is certainly got to be the case.
Well, babe, I think we're going to wrap this up. Here's our contact information. I want to make you guys aware, please, please, please check out the podcast. And if you haven't seen this, we now have a YouTube channel. So we are videoing the podcast. We're putting it up on YouTube. You can find it under Your Marriage Matters. If you want to see Christie's beautiful face once a week, you're welcome to do that. We take the audio from that, and that's still our podcast, so we're doing that as well. And if you have not joined our Facebook group, please do that. Your Marriage Matters on Facebook. We'd love to have you there. We do have a brand new website coming out, and we already do have another a webinar plan, so we'll let you know when we're going to be doing that. It's going to be in a couple of weeks. Thank you all for the privilege of being here with you this evening. Thanks for your support, your encouragement. And I will tell you, I know we say this every time, so I know I'm saying it with Christie's full blessing. If there's ever anything we can do for you and yours, or anybody you know that might need help, don't hesitate to let us know. We love you, appreciate you, and we feel God called us to do this work, so we're glad to help in any way we can. So with that, we love you all. We appreciate you. Have a good evening. We'll catch up with you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.